Google. 95% of all Internet-using adults under the age of 30 are on Facebook and/or Instagram, which Facebook acquired in 2012. Millennials spend twice as much time on YouTube as they do on all other video streaming services combined. Google and Facebook together receive around 90% of the world's new ad spending, and Google's and Apple's operating systems run on all but 1% of all cell phones globally. Apple and Microsoft supply 95% of the world's desktop operating systems. Amazon takes half of all U.S. e-commerce sales. The list goes on and on. Everything in big tech goes big, or it doesn't go at all. And the bigger it gets, the more likely it is to go bigger still. The wealth reaped by the digital giants has been extraordinary. The market capitalizations of the 5 so-called FANG companies, Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google, now exceed the economy of France. Measured by users, Facebook alone is larger than the world's largest country, China. But as the big have gotten bigger, the rest of the economy has suffered. Over the past 2 decades, as big tech has grown, more than half of all public firms have disappeared. Our economy has become more concentrated, and both business dynamism and entrepreneurship have declined. As I wrote and reported, raising concerns about all of this in the pages of the FT, I felt growing unease over the things I was hearing from a broad swath of people, workers, consumers, parents, and investors, who felt that big tech was putting their livelihoods, or even their lives, or those of people they loved, in jeopardy. There were the mothers and fathers who struggled with tech-addicted children, the workers who'd lost jobs when their businesses went bankrupt trying to compete with Amazon, the entrepreneur who had his ideas and intellectual property stolen by a competitor and lacked the funds to bring his complaint to court, the homeowner who was denied property insurance because the provider's algorithm determined he was too high a risk. Then there were those who simply felt that the entire tech industry wasn't sharing enough of the wealth pie fairly. And what a pie it is! Big tech firms are now the richest and most powerful companies on the face of the planet. The inherent desirability of their various products and platforms, coupled with the network effect, in which more users beget still more, and all the data that they harvest as a result, has allowed them to scale to unimaginable dimensions. They have used their size to crush or absorb competitors, to commandeer the personal data of their users, and, in the case of Google, Facebook, and Amazon, to leverage it for their own benefit in the form of highly targeted advertising. They and other big tech firms have also offshored much of their exorbitant profit. According to one estimate done by Credit Suisse in 2019, the top 10 companies offshoring the most savings, including Apple, Microsoft, Oracle, Alphabet, the parent company of Google, and Qualcomm, had $600 billion sitting in overseas accounts, circumventing the laws and regulations by which ordinary citizens must abide, but which the largest corporations can legally eschew. Silicon Valley has lobbied hard to preserve the tax loopholes that allow all this, bringing to mind the words of economist Mansur Olson, who warned that a civilization declines when the moneyed interests take over its politics. Certainly, many public officials I spoke with echoed my concerns. Silicon Valley was, after all, built around government, that is, taxpayer-funded innovation. Everything from GPS mapping to touchscreens to the Internet itself came out of research originally done or funded by the U.S. Department of Defense and was later commercialized by Silicon Valley. Yet unlike many other countries, including a number of thriving free markets, such as Finland and Israel, the U.S. taxpayer does not reap a penny of the profits these innovations yield. Instead, these companies were offshoring both profits and labor